Flags up behind. Gates crash back and they on their journey. USA's Hope, maybe a half a length slow off, but look to the left-hand side. Geronimo bounced out like a ball of fire. He goes on by 3. Geronimo tears away. Lazy Guy gets into second, the white headgear. FORMAGEAR's perfectly poised at the rail. Zuberi, Saka Gold's around them. Harlates and Vase towards the inside, hard held. USA's Hope creeps a length closer. Seabus to the white cap to the inside. Uncle George has come under the ride and got 7-8 to make up. Jetavana behind them, then PowerPoint and Quantifier. Geronimo, 450 metres to go. The white headgear of Lazy Guy, the first one to make the presence felt. Saka Gold's on the right and FORMAGEAR is going to go through between runners. Geronimo gets to the inside at the subway, 300 to go. Lazy Guy, FORMAGEAR's running a huge race between them. Here's FORMAGEAR now putting in a winning stride, and FORMAGEAR hits the front, 100 to go, and FORMAGEAR electric the last 100, going away. Geronimo's second, USA's Hope, and in came Lazy Guy. He looked an absolute picture on the way down to the start. FORMAGEAR, he went through the gears and wins with total authority. Well, as you saw FORMAGEAR go down to the post, he was forward moving. He looked an absolute dream. If you went on the canter past, you would have had a little nibble on FORMAGEAR. He looked $1 million and he pays up 19 Rand 40. Geronimo's second, USA's Hope further back, then Lazy Guy. Saka Gold next best, Zuberi, the Karari out of the Ideal World Mare, Peep Show, cruising coming to the 300, hands and heel stuff. Craig Zaki for the Peter Muscat stable, Aventure Thoroughbred Farm, even in legal practitioners, the Petersons and FORMAGEAR. He comes to the course today, makes his presence felt, and when he hit the lead, that was it. Nothing was going to see him. Back to the studio.
Oh, we've just seen a wonderful start and introduction to his career. FORMAGEAR, the son of Karari, Aventure Thoroughbreds. Well done to the winning connections. Mr. Peterson is the nominee for EVA Legal Practitioners. And of course, Peter Muscat teaming up with Craig Zaki. We'd like to introduce Mr. Gary Ratbone. He's the head of the SABC Sport. We've heard his interview with Graham Hawkins. Welcome to Hollywoodbets Greyville, Gary. And thank you for these lovely prizes that you'll be giving out. Branded suitcase, branded umbrella, and of course a branded ice cooler box as well, branded by the SABC Sport, and really nice to see them being part of the Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge Race Day. First up, Gary's gonna hand over the winning groom's prize. He'll also get one of these winning mementos along with his 1,000 Rand Hollywoodbets and Gold Circle. Congratulations to Fikani. He's done a wonderful job with FORMAGEAR. Well done to you, Fikani. Hearty congratulations. You've done a superb job. Next up, let's get the winning jockey, who is Craig Zaki. Craig, good introduction from your horse.
Very it is. Really have nothing to complain about.
When Peter gave his comments, he thought that his horse may be green, which was the case in the early part, but when he found his stride, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. You know, Mr. Muscat really liked the fill in the first, but to go against the boys from Jaw 14, she got caught a bit wild. It's very tough, but in saying that, she ran a great race. And Mr. Muscat told me this boy's not far off. Greenness is his concern, but he's got the jaw, and he did say it was a moderate field, and I'm just glad the horse found his feet. Like you say, he was green early stages. He was running in snatches, but coming into the straight, he found a good rhythm, and he quickened up well.
Nice to get one board on early on these big days. How's the balance of your rides?
Yeah, I'm competitive, Deez. I think it's hard. I've gone through the races and today's really tricky. Marina, she's having her first run in KZN. I think 14's half the trip she wants. So I'm just hoping for a nice run from her, and you'll see her at her best come July. I've got one or two for Mr. Spish. You know, when he travels, you have to include them. They cannot be ignored. And like I said, I'm competitive. Silva Peretta got a good jaw. He's running against the best milers, but on his day he's as good as they can get. And I'm hoping he brings that heart he has to the course today.
Talking about traveling, you've done some traveling this season, and by the high standards that you set for yourself, you would have been happy with the way things have worked out this season?
Fairly happy, Deez. Things have been on and off. If it's not catching the flu, it's suspensions, and just on and off, but happy. I'm trying to get to that century. I'm not far off, and yeah, I'm getting really good support all over, and I have no room to complain.
Well, if you got to umbrella for the picnic with the ice cooler and for your travels, we've got a travel bag for you as well from the SABC.
Thanks so much, Deez. Well done to Mr. Muscat, to his team. This horse came to the course ready and looking incredible as always. To the partners involved, very chuffed. They seem excited, so well done to them, and may give them a few more.
Well done. Winning jockey Craig Zaki.
Sorry, one more thing. Just well done to my sponsors, Maurice Fontaine, Vogbush Drift, and Hollywood. Once again, well done.
Well done, Craig Zaki. Let's get Peter Muscat in. Peter, he would have taken a lot of positives out of this performance because, you were transparent with regards to your pre-race comments that you were expecting him to be green, but with all due respect, he wasn't bumping the strongest field around.
Correct. He's a high quality horse in the making. We've always thought a hell of a lot of him. He was held up a long way. He just coughed and coughed and coughed, and it became very frustrating. But since that settled down, his work has improved. He has seen Greyville before, but he was very, very green when he came here. So obviously he learned quite a bit through that gallop. But yes, he won very well today. And as you say there, with respect to the opposition, it wasn't the strongest of fields, but he won with authority, and he looks like he's got a bright future.
Tell us a bit more about this partnership that you have with EVA Legal Practitioners. I see the nominees, Mr. Petersen.
Yeah, this is actually Koos Petersen's first runner in his own colours. So him and his wife Bev, huge congratulations to them. And it's also a special day for Marilyn because the horse is named in her late husband's honour, and it's very special that she could be here today to represent Koos, who's not available today. So it's great to have her on course, and huge congratulations to her.
Before you leave us, I know you've done your bit with interviews. We thank you for that during the course of the week. From Peter Muscat, for your followers, for the punters out there, it's going to be a big day. Which is your next best?
Well, we only have the two runners left, one in the Cup Trial, Gentleman's Wager, who was a very unlucky loser of his last start. Despite being a 7-year-old, I think he's at the top of his game, and I think he's going to run a huge race this afternoon. So although it's a very competitive lineup, he's back under true handicap terms today. I'm not for any moments suggesting that he can win, but I think he's ready to run to the best of his form, and he can run into the money. And then we have Isivungu Vungu running in the Durban Dash. He's a very smart horse in the making. He's only had 5 starts to date. He won with authority at his last start, beating a tough bunch of older handicappers. He does have the odds-on favourite to take on today under very unfavourable weight conditions.
Sure.
But if that bloke doesn't bring his A game, we might be there to pick up the pieces.
Thank you for that, Peter. That's your winning momentum from the SABC. A lovely prizes that SABC has given out to the winning connections. We bring Marilyn in, and it's a special moment for her. We've just heard the story from Peter that this horse named after a late husband. Firstly, welcome to Hollywoodbets Greyville, and it's a memorable moment for you today that this horse has won.
Yeah, thank you. There was no greater lover of the racing than my husband. He was just so into it, and this is just a phenomenal tribute. And I'm just, he was also a phenomenal sportsman, so his horse would do the same.
These guys obviously would have been mates and friends of his, and for him to remember him in this way. I mean, that's a wonderful story, isn't it?
Yes, I want to say a special thank you to Chris, who this was the most amazing tribute, and it means the world to me, and it would have done to my husband John as well.
Well, it's a beautiful story. I'm actually touched by it. And to yourself and all the other guys that have took up this initiative, this horse has done you proud today. And hopefully I'm going to see you again when he runs.
Absolutely, every time.
Well done, Marilyn. And that's a nice winning memento. Really nice to have Marilyn on course. And well done to everybody concerned here. And a big thank you to you, Gary Rathbone, for being down today and supporting the race day as well with those lovely mementos as well. Wish you all the best. Thanks to Gary Rathbone for coming down and assisting us with the winning presentation of race number 2. And the winner is FORMAGEAR. I think a horse that you're going to have to pencil in for races to come because you won a very good race here. Up next will be the start of the place accumulator, guys, which will be race number 3. 12:45 is the time. Up next, race number 3.
From the Stipendiary Board.